Good evening, I'm Angie Moreschki, in for Veronica Cintron tonight. This is your news, weather, now. We are starting with a developing story out of Pinellas County. A fatal accident has closed a major road. The northbound lanes of US 19 are closed due to that accident. Multiple law enforcement agencies responded to the scene around 4 this morning. And Spectrum Bay News 9's Angie Andrews is live at the scene right now at 8:01. New right now, a body has been found in the area of Egmont Key, and both the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office and Fish and Wildlife Commission are involved in the investigation. Paying attention to the wear and tear on your tires is important for a smooth, safe ride. I'm Angie Moreschki. In today's ConsumerWise report, warning signs for when you need new tires and what you need to know when you buy new ones. Would you spend $2 for an extended warranty on a $10 memory card? Don't do it. It's like throwing money away. Martha Stewart Living, Travel and Leisure, Sports Illustrated, magazines you didn't order keep coming in the mail, and then all of a sudden, you get a bill. All right, Julie, thank you. And we have breaking news for you at 8 a.m. Pasco County deputies are investigating a shooting that happened in the Palm Lake Estates subdivision in Port Richey. Spectrum Bay News 9's Georgia Roman is live in Pasco County with us this morning. She has the latest details for us. Good morning, Georgia. Good morning. I'm Angie Moreschki. We want to welcome you to our special live coverage here on Spectrum Bay News 9 of the funeral of former First Lady Barbara Bush. The matriarch of the Bush dynasty is being remembered today as a woman dedicated to her family, faith, and country. Welcome to our live coverage of the royal wedding here on Spectrum Bay News 9. We have an exciting moment about to take place in Windsor, England. That's about 30 miles away from London. You're looking at the Rolls-Royce carrying the bride-to-be, Meghan Markle, American actress, about to wed a British prince. Prince Harry and Meghan's wedding today. It's been a long few months of preparation, and today the exciting moment is finally here. It didn't have to end this way for Anthony, a child in an unmarked grave. This police affidavit describes the torture he and his sister suffered at the hands of a family the state should have known would not be safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're number 6 on the list of all debtors owing money to the state of Indiana. It's 5:09 now. That means it's time to check on our forecast. Meteorologist Mike Clay in the Weather Center for us tonight. Well, Mike, this was just one of those days where you could just stay outside all day, not too hot, not too cold, beautiful sunshine. I don't think it could have gotten any better.
I call it a Mediterranean climate.
I know, right?
Kind of like the south of France or somewhere like that in the summertime.
And we are back with you live. That is Pope Francis now landed and just got off the plane in New York at JFK Airport. He has the white on in the middle of that crowd. He's been greeted by Cardinal Timothy Dolan and several other dignitaries there on the tarmac. The Pope, of course, left Washington, D.C. just about an hour, a little longer than that, and landed in New York at about 5 p.m. He walked down the steps slowly. Very windy evening there in New York City. Far different atmosphere than it was in hot and muggy, humid Cuba just a few days ago. Now he's experiencing wonderful fall weather in the Big Apple tonight, and we can see smiling Pope Francis. He is enjoying his visit here to the United States. It has been a historic trip. Of course, first time ever that a pope spoke to a joint session of Congress this morning. It was quite an exciting day for him, and the Pope likes to reach out to the people, and he's had many opportunities to do that. We've seen him touching, kissing babies, kissing children, giving many of hugs. He likes to be called the People's Pope. He has taken a vow of poverty, and we'll see that that is touching his heart today when he meets with 200 indigent people here in New York. That's where his true heart is, as he's told us to follow the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, to be kind to others. He's touched on many interesting and sometimes controversial issues. Today, during his speech at Congress, he spoke of immigration and abortion, some hot-button issues there, but he also spoke of peace and love and unity, which is the true message that the Pope is trying to spread here in the United States. Busting belly fat is not easy, but it can be done. Remember, first, consistent paced cardio, build muscle, and eat smart. If you lose your keys and it has a tile tracker on it, all you have to do is hit the tile tracker app on your phone and it plays a little tune to help you find them. Filling up your gas tank is getting more expensive just in time for summer travel. I'm Angie Moreschi. In today's ConsumerWise report, what to expect on gas prices and how to improve your gas mileage for your summer road trip. It is time now to take you county by county, and we're going to get things started down there in Manatee County, where the Highland Shores boat ramp is going to be closing for 1 month. Welcome back. Glad to have you with us on this Sunday. Today, we are hitting the high seas off the coast of beautiful Sanibel Island. Our Caitlin Wilson takes us on a boat trip with a seasoned captain in today's Florida on a Tankful. Half of the Indiana children who died of abuse or neglect in some 50 cases we reviewed involved families with prior history with Child Protective Services. Children like 2-year-old Brianna Noe.
Always had a big smile on her face whenever we were with her.
Brianna's father, Brad May, says he repeatedly warned CPS his daughter was in danger. While caseworkers did investigate, the state chose not to remove Brianna from her mother's care, attributing the father's allegations to a custody dispute.
I told everybody that would listen that she was going to hurt my daughter.
And it happened. Brianna was drowned by her mother in Fort Wayne this summer. Judy Noe told police she wrapped Brianna in a shower curtain and held her under the shower water until her eyes rolled back in her head. She then kept the toddler's decomposing body in her apartment with her other children for more than 2 weeks. Included in this file are fairly detailed reports about CPS contacts with Judy Noe before she killed Brianna. But in many other cases we reviewed, which also note prior contact, the state refuses to release reports detailing the history. The high-profile case of 4-year-old Diamond Edmonds in Indianapolis is one example. Diamond was beaten to death by her mother and her mother's boyfriend, whipped with a belt and switch over 2 days for drinking out of someone else's cup. Why did you beat your child like that? Part of the answer could be in her CPS file. Prior history is often a major indicator of future abuse. But in the file provided, there are conflicting reports. It says no prior history, but then it says there's investigation under prior history, so we're not sure what to think. We asked top officials at the Division of Family and Children about the discrepancy.
I don't blame you. That's very confusing.
The state later told us there was a history, but they would release no further information because it was not directly related to Diamond's death. So you don't think it's part of the statute to release the past history?
I do not, and that's the advice of counsel.
The Family and Social Services Administration takes the position it's up to them to decide what CPS history should or should not be released. But that's a job the legislators who wrote the law say they specifically assigned to judges to avoid a conflict of interest. Do you think FSSA should be turning over the files on the prior history?
Absolutely. It is part of the relevancy. It establishes a pattern. It shows if, in fact, mistakes were made previously and if they were constantly repeated.
If FSSA is not turning that information over, they are violating the law.
Yes, it violates the whole purpose of keeping the sorting to an independent, detached judge.
Turn over the entire record.
We shared with agency leaders, joined by their attorney, what the legislators had to say, but they stood by their position.
The language is very specific as to what is included, and it is simply the information surrounding the death.
That's your interpretation. They're saying that it does mean past history. Doesn't the intent matter?
When it comes to the past history that contributes to the death that we are investigating, that information is indeed included.
But that's the judge's job, to redact the information that he does not consider relevant, not FSSA's job.
Well, our job is to apply the law as our legal counsel interprets it, and that is exactly what we are doing.
But those trying to fix a troubled system say this is an example of how those in the system are resisting change.
It's not a finger-pointing process, but it's an educational process that we can all work together to correct those shortcomings within the system and hopefully prevent any future children from being killed.
Now, you may have noticed some of the documents that we showed you had large portions blacked out like this. That's another issue we encountered. The law allows judges to remove information they believe is not relevant to the child's death. Some decided to leave all the information, while others blacked out large portions, including the name of the victim, the perpetrator, even information in newspaper articles already public that are included in the file. So, John, despite this new law that's designed to open these records up to public scrutiny, there's still a lot we're being kept from finding out.
And it sounds like the legislature will take up this issue again in the coming session.
They are absolutely looking at whether they need to make more changes to get these records opened up even further.